James Harrington had built his empire on precision and efficiency. At 38, as CEO of Harrington Enterprises, he expected perfection from everyone around him. His penthouse apartment reflected this philosophy: minimalist, spotless, controlled. When he arrived home early on a Thursday afternoon, irritated by a canceled meeting, he found his new housekeeper, Claire Walsh, standing by the window in his bedroom. She appeared to be in her late 20s, with dark hair pulled back, wearing the simple beige uniform all his household staff wore. What caught his attention was that she wasn't cleaning. She was just standing there, one hand pressed against a window frame, her shoulders trembling slightly. "What are you doing?" James demanded, his voice sharp. Claire spun around, hastily wiping her eyes. "Mr. Harrington, I'm so sorry. I was just finishing your room." "You were crying," James said coldly. "This is a workplace, not a therapy session. I expect professionalism." "Yes, sir. I apologize. It won't happen again." But James had already made his decision. He'd had 3 housekeepers in 6 months, each falling short of standards. This emotional display was the last straw. "You're dismissed," he said flatly. "I'll have my assistant prepare your final payment. Please collect your things and leave your key." Claire's face went pale, but she nodded with quiet dignity. "I understand. Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Harrington." She left within the hour, and James felt relieved. He needed people who could separate their personal lives from their professional duties. He had no room for weakness in his perfectly ordered world. That evening, as James prepared for bed, he noticed something tucked beneath his pillow, a small blue notebook with worn edges. Confused, he opened it and immediately recognized Claire's neat handwriting. It was a diary. James knew he should respect her privacy, should call her to return it. But something about the first entry, dated just 3 weeks ago, made him pause. First day working for Mr. Harrington. The apartment is beautiful, but feels so empty, like a museum where no one is allowed to touch anything. He seems lonely, though he'd never admit it. Reminds me of Dad before Mom helped him remember how to smile. James frowned and kept reading, unable to stop himself. Each entry revealed small observations about his life: how he never had personal calls, how he ate dinner alone every night, how he worked until past midnight. But Claire had written these things without judgment, only gentle concern. Then he reached an entry from 2 weeks ago that made his breath catch. "I saw a photo today, tucked in his desk drawer. Mr. Harrington with an older couple, probably his parents. He was young, maybe 18, and genuinely happy. I wonder what happened to that young man. I left the photo on his nightstand, hoping he'd remember that happiness exists." James remembered that morning. He'd seen the photo, felt the familiar ache of loss, and immediately returned it to the drawer. His parents had died in a car accident 10 years ago, and he'd been running from that pain ever since, building walls of success around himself. He continued reading, each entry peeling back another layer of his carefully constructed armor. Made his favorite coffee today, Colombian dark roast. He looked surprised that I noticed. Small acts of noticing. That's what my grandmother taught me. Everyone wants to be seen. Mr. Harrington left his bedroom window open last night and got caught in the rain. Found him this morning with a terrible cold. He insisted he was fine, but I made chicken soup anyway. He ate it all. Sometimes caring for someone means ignoring their protests. James's hands trembled as he reached the final entry, written just that afternoon, before he'd fired her. Today marks exactly 3 years since Michael died. My husband was only 31 when cancer took him. Some days the grief still catches me by surprise, stealing my breath. I stood by Mr. Harrington's window today, looking at the city, remembering how Michael loved morning light. I wasn't being unprofessional. I was just trying to hold myself together long enough to finish the day. I failed. Mr. Harrington fired me, and I can't blame him. But I hope someday he learns that being human isn't a weakness. It's the only thing that makes life bearable. I'll pray for him, that he finds whatever he's searching for in all that emptiness. James closed the diary, his heart hammering. He'd been so cruel, so blind. This young woman had been silently caring for him, seeing past his cold exterior to the lonely man underneath, while carrying her own devastating grief. He looked at the clock, 11:30 at night. Too late to call, but not too late to act. James spent the next 2 hours searching through his assistant's files until he found Claire's address. At 2 a.m, he knocked on the door of a modest apartment building across town. Claire answered, her eyes red from crying, shocked to see him. "Mr. Harrington, what are you doing here?" "I found your diary," James said quietly. "I know I should have called, should have respected your privacy, but I read it, all of it." Claire's face flushed with embarrassment. "I'm sorry. I should have taken it with me. Those were private thoughts." "They were also the truth," James said, his voice breaking. "Everything you wrote about me, about the emptiness, the loneliness, it's all true. I've been hiding behind work and perfection because I'm terrified of feeling anything real." He held out the diary. "You lost your husband 3 years ago today, and instead of showing compassion, I fired you for being human. I'm so deeply sorry, Claire." Tears spilled down Claire's cheeks. "You weren't supposed to see that." "But I needed to," James insisted. "You've been taking care of me, really taking care of me, and I never even noticed. You saw past the CEO to the person I've forgotten how to be." He took a shaky breath. "I'm not asking you to come back as my housekeeper. I'm asking if you let me try again, as someone who wants to learn how to be human. Maybe we could have coffee? Talk? I'd like to hear about Michael, if you'd share, and I'd like to tell you about my parents." Claire searched his face for a long moment, then nodded slowly. "I'd like that." Over the following months, James and Claire built an unexpected friendship. She taught him that strength includes vulnerability, that perfection is a prison, and that being seen, truly seen, is life's greatest gift. He learned to laugh again, to feel again, to live outside the confines of the control world. Eventually, friendship became something deeper, something neither had expected, but both were brave enough to embrace. Years later, James kept that blue diary in his desk drawer, a reminder that sometimes the people we dismiss hold the mirrors we need most, reflecting not who we pretend to be, but who we're capable of becoming when we finally allow ourselves to feel.